Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds, and a week ago I had the Inspire implant surgery for my sleep apnea. When I get back, I'm going to talk about my sleep apnea history and the results so far of the surgery.
Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds. Yeah.
So when we first got married, I snored. And it got worse the longer we were married. Never once did I ever think anything about it other than I'm just a loud snore. It was actually a joke at a lot of the family vacations that I could keep up a big 6,000-7,000 square foot house. They could hear me from everywhere when I was asleep. I started off sleeping on my back, and Jenny would elbow me to make me sleep on my side. So fast forward a bunch of years, I don't know what really got us thinking about sleep apnea, but at some point we decided that we would get a sleep study, and I went and got one, and it turned out that I had severe,
severe obstructive sleep apnea. And this is Jenny, just to clarify, this was his third sleep study. He's had two in the past where they told us he didn't have sleep apnea, and I was like, there's something going on.
But in the past, like way back in the past, not like in the past couple of years. I'm talking about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we had the recent sleep apnea study. This was probably, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago. And I was diagnosed with severe. And if you look at AHI, which is what the apnea, apnea hypo, it's AHI is the index that they use to measure your amount of sleep apnea. I can't remember. I'll put it down below here, what the AHI stands for. But if you look at the numbering scale that they use, -5 or less than 5, not -5, less than 5 is normal for everybody that snores. I think like 5 to 10 is moderate. 10 to 15 is no, however it is, it's 5 to 10, and then 10 to 15, and then 15 to 30, and anything above 30 is considered severe. And I normally run anywhere from 30 to 60, which essentially means 30 is about, I don't know, 270 some times a night that I basically stop breathing while I'm snoring. So the issues with that isn't the fact that I'm going to suffocate myself, because generally your body's not going to let you suffocate when you're not being strangled or drowning or something. But it can lead to lack of sleep, irritability, obviously lack of sleep. The lack of sleep can lead to irritability, heart attacks, other health problems, strokes, all kinds of
Falling
negative,
asleep during the
negative
day.
stuff.
It can affect your safety driving. Thank goodness he hasn't had that. He's a very safe driver.
I fall asleep all the time sitting on the couch.
Yeah, but not driving. And he never used to fall asleep on the couch before. So the falling asleep on the couch is a newer thing for him. But and thank goodness, like I said, I don't worry about him driving, because that is a scary thing. But he hasn't had any issues with that, at least not that I've observed, and not that he's admitted.
I haven't fallen asleep while driving. So we started off with going to just a regular doctor and talking about it, and looking online and doing stuff. So a few years back we bought a Sleep Number bed. So we've cranked up the head on the bed a little bit to see if that would help. That didn't help. I put a couple more pillows under my bed, under my head, tried to get as comfortable as I could. That didn't help with the numbers. I got a ring by a company called Sleep On that I wear at night that measures the numbers. So don't think of it like you're not sleeping. I actually do go to sleep, and I do wake up in the morning. It's just a very restless sleep. So then we fast forwarded to mid last year. The doctor had a mouthpiece that he wanted me to try. Ear, nose, and throat guy. He wanted me to try out this mouthpiece, which essentially brings your jaw forward while you sleep. So you wear it at night. It pulls your jaw forward, which then pulls your tongue forward, which then opens your airway and keeps your tongue more forward, giving you a little bit more space in your airway. So the way this thing works is it's an upper and a lower. It's like a bite guard, but it's an upper and a lower. And there's a metal piece that it kind of clips in. So you put the whole thing in your mouth, and the metal piece keeps your mouth from opening, but it also keeps the ability to keep your lower jaw pulled forward. Well, I wore that like the first night. As I slept, my mouth figured out how to undo it. So
his genius brain.
I woke up with just a mouth guard in my mouth with this clip and doing nothing. So I took it back. They basically soldered it so to put it in my mouth, it had to go in this way and then turn, and that locked it. It would never, unless you turned it completely sideways, it wouldn't unlock.
Did it have a key? Or was that the first?
No, that's the adjusting thing.
Okay.
So you put it in your mouth and go to sleep. Well, the couple of nights I tried it, I'd wake up with the thing halfway hanging out of my mouth, and again, jaw's perfectly aligned, and this thing's hanging out of my mouth with drool down the side of my face, looking like a wreck. So that didn't work. Well, we tried sleep. We didn't ever try the CPAP machine, which a lot of camper people are always talking about, for power and solar and stuff, how the CPAP machines work in a camper. Never really tried it because I sleep on my face, and basically that's because it was the Pavlov dog thing, where if you get forced to do something enough, you just do it by habit. So I got hit so many times for trying to sleep on my back that now I instinctively sleep on my side. And so the CPAP machine wasn't even an option. Not to mention that I got this little dog that would probably protect me from this thing on my face, regardless of how small they are now. This thing on my face at night while this machine is making noise next to me wearing it. So
I think she'd be protecting me from the monster coming into the room with the machine on its face.
Either way, I'd probably get bit, or this thing would just be like the mouthpiece and over here putting air in my ear all night long.
He doesn't have a big tolerance for things that aren't comfortable when he's trying to sleep, so I figure it would be ripped off after the first or second night, thrown on the ground and never used again.
Yeah, which defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So we went through all the stuff. I had a couple more sleep studies done, the take-home kind where you set it all up yourself. Those are miserable.
Yeah, he didn't like those either.
So it turned out that I was a candidate for an Inspire implant. But first he wanted, oh yeah, you're right. There was one more thing. In February of this year, I had a crazy surgery where he went in. He was hoping this would be like the last straw before the Inspire. He deviated septum.
They really thought this was going to fix it.
Tonsils.
And augured out his throat.
And basically took out all the loose skin in the back of my throat and essentially opened my airways. That didn't help at all. I mean,
no, it just made it easier for him to snore. Not as loud.
But I'm telling you, I breathe a lot better. So if you have a deviated septum, and you have the option to get it fixed because it really makes the ability of breathing through my nose. I never used to be able to breathe through my nose. I would, if I closed my mouth and tried to take a deep breath through my nose, there was just no chance that I was going to be able to get a good breath without opening my mouth. But since I've had that done, it's pretty nice. But that didn't cure my sleep apnea. It didn't, like I said, every night I wear the ring. I look at my numbers every night, and it didn't do anything. So on to the Inspire. We had to go through a final sleep study, but it was under anesthesia to make sure that my throat and tongue and everything collapsed properly in order for the Inspire to work. So we did that in July, and this is now end of October. You whisper. You got a microphone. You can just say stuff.
October.
Yeah, so we had that in July. the results came back that whichever the direction, whether the throat collapsed like this or whether it constricted like this, I don't remember. But whichever way it was supposed to in order to be able to use the Inspire, I was okay. They went through my insurance. Insurance approved it, and like I said, last Thursday and today's Saturday, so it was a week ago. This past Thursday, I had the implant done. Now, the way that the implant works is they put the implant in here. There is a sensor that actually connects to my lung that's below the implant, and then they ran another lead up through, however they did it. I guess it's not like running a wire behind a drywall, but kind of. And now there is a sensor here that's connected to a nerve on the back of my tongue. So the surgery, so I'm in recovery, and I have the ability to see, I can see this scar right here, and I'm just like, wow, they did a pretty good job. That just looks like a little line that's going to heal up right. Then I go to the restroom a little while later, and I see this jagged mess on my chin, and I'm like, what the heck? It's like, how come this nice pretty cut here isn't all pretty here? And it's kind of, I'm not vain, but I'm just like, geez, this is kind of jacked up.
They probably put it in a wrinkle.
Maybe. I wasn't expecting a couple of things. I was expecting a lump. Now, you can't really tell in the picture, but there's a lump here, and it's not swelling. That's permanent because there's an actual implant underneath of there. I wasn't expecting the cut on my chin to be that big. I was expecting, I've had a lot of arthroscopic type surgeries where the wounds are little, and they can do wonders with little things like that. So I thought that's what I was kind of expecting, even though I had seen different images online of different sizes and everything. I was expecting a little bit smaller. I wasn't expecting to not be able to swallow for a couple of days, or I was able to swallow, but it hurt a lot. I guess that's because they fiddle with my nerve in the tongue. There was swelling here for the first few days, and it was the things you don't really think about. When you chew, you move the food around with your tongue. So when I was chewing, it wasn't hurting my jaw to move, but it would hurt to chew because the food, you couldn't move the food around. It hurt to swallow because that same mechanism, when you swallow, your tongue pulls forward while you swallow the food. So it's a thing like that. What else? The brushing your teeth was kind of a pain because in the first couple of days was bad because you couldn't open your mouth a lot and you couldn't move your tongue. You couldn't brush your tongue because it hurt. And then spitting was crazy. So basically you try to spit and well, your tongue is part of that spitting mechanism. So when you go to spit, it really hurt the person. So you end up just spitting and everything goes down your mouth. So it was easier after the first time I did it just to take a glass of water and just let the water drool out of my mouth instead of trying to spit like you normally would when you brush your teeth. Otherwise, I haven't really had any side effects. I had my first follow-up this past Thursday, so a week later. He took out, there were 2 stitches in here that he pulled out. He was happy with the way things were healing. I don't know how I'm going to shave for a while, so I kind of shaved the morning of the surgery, and so now I'm going to be a mountain man for a while until this is all healed up, and I don't want to jack it all up trying to shave. Right. But at this point, people keep asking me, well, so are you sleeping better? Are you sleeping better? Well, no, because it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for everything to heal up before you go back in. I basically go back in with the Inspire Focus the next time, and they actually turn it on. They actually have to go through and adjust everything, and then I use it for a while, and then I come back for another sleep study. So I'm going to come back and after I do my first when they first turn it on, I'm gonna do another one of these videos to see, progress so far. But I'm a little bit excited. I'm hoping this thing works. as with any surgery type thing, you're limited with your range and lifting and things you can't do. So there's, well, my full-time job, I work in a secure environment, and I'm not allowed to bring cell phones and smartwatches and things of that sort. Anything with Bluetooth, anything with wireless capabilities, you can't bring it into work. So I had to go through and submit documentation about the implant. And for those of you that the manuals, there's about 25 manuals. It's on the Inspire website. I'll put a link to the manuals below just if you're interested. And it doesn't, the device in your chest doesn't use Bluetooth. It uses what they call inductive wireless, which has like a 5 centimeter or less range. So the way this thing works is there's a little remote, which I don't have. You put it on here at night, you turn it on, and as you breathe, it sends a signal to your tongue, pulling your tongue forward. Like I'm guessing based on what I read, it's like E-stim. If you've ever had, physical therapy where they put the little electrodes on you and you feel the little shocks going, I think it's similar to that, is based on the things I was reading. But it's not, the device in your chest doesn't have like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything on it. So if you're like me in that kind of environment, it's still wireless, but it's an inductive technology. So it's literally, the range is super small, and you just have to fill out the paperwork for that. So right now I'm doing pretty good, other than I'm still tender. Every day it's getting better. The spitting and the eating and the chewing, it's gotten better. Healing up once it all gets healed up, and start electroshock therapy when I go to sleep, and just make sure no one else gets a hold of the machine during the day. Turn it on to mess with me. The good thing is they have to be up close to me to turn it on. They just can't like get an app on their phone and mess with me all day. Anyway, I will see you soon with a follow-up. Once again, this is Jeff.
And Jenny.
And we're the Airstream Nerds. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put any comments below, and we'll see you on the next trip.